måste bara göra det här så jag har.
Jag också. Det är bara en skitbar där vi gör det där.
Ska jag bara lämna in det här då? Fuck it, vi kör. Alright.
Yeah.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hanime Fan Club. I'm your host, Shpimpasta, and joining me today is the beautiful man,
Hodor, of course.
Exactly.
Thank you for the compliment, you know.
Oh, no worries, my brother. Mwah.
Okay. I need to do something first, okay, before we start and all that.
Yep.
We zoom in on a planet. There's a lot of trees. You see Qui-Gon Jinn and Jar Jar running through the forest, being chased by a big war machine. Qui-Gon Jinn takes Jar Jar and throws them aside.
Bruh, there's more.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I fail with the okay, but you know.
Keep going.
After that, they see the war machine disappear from the distance. Jar Jar grabs and hugs Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oi! Muy! I love yous!
The frog-like creature kisses Qui-Gon Jinn. Are you brainless? You almost got me killed.
I speak, therefore I think.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent. Now get out of here. Qui-Gon starts to move away, and Jar Jar starts try to convince him, but we will end there because that's the quote. And you see,
Qui-Gon Jinn fucked up. Misa dat Jaja. You in deep doo-doo now.
we see that he speaks this quote, these words when you zoom in on his face, and his eyes turn a little bit yellow, as all the dark Siths have.
And you hear a lightsaber drop. Zoom. End of movie 1.
End of one.
This is the end of the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn gets fucking slaughtered by Jar Jar.
It's only with the movie 3 it's actually revealed that it was never Darth Maul that killed
Qui-Gon
Jinn. It was actually Jar Jar, and that shocks everyone.
Fucking hell. Shout out to Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Ah, good shit. But we're not here today to talk about Darth Jar Jar, although we could make an episode just talking about like fan theories and shit, because a lot of them are really funny.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today is the episode where we are going to be discussing Western cartoons. But I don't mean Western cartoons in general. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of Western cartoons. You know, we got Ben 10, we got Avatar, we got fucking Lego Ninjago. No, we're going to be talking about the newer wave of Western cartoons that are pandering more towards a mature and adult audience. Now, there are a lot of adult cartoons that already do that, but almost every single one of them is primarily a comedy show. You know, South Park, Family Guy, The Simpsons, the list goes on. But recently there's been a trend of newer, more mature Western cartoons that kind of appeal to the same audience that, for example, watch anime. Because I feel personally, one reason that I watch anime way more than Western cartoons is because anime just has way more that appeals to mature audiences when it comes to like action and these fucking dark and gritty stories, you know. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
How are they succeeding? How are they failing? Do we think this is good? Should they keep going? Or should we say, fuck that shit, let's just watch anime?
Before we can actually begin though with that, we must actually go to one show we actually have talked about on this podcast before. And
so,
first what happened is what we was very hyped for the show.
Yep.
But we then became de-hyped after watching the first episode. I just only watched 2 episodes.
I finished the whole thing.
Yeah. And I'm like, seriously.
Alright, the show we're talking about right now is, of course, the new He-Man show. It's not called He-Man, it's just called Masters of the Universe Revelations, I'm pretty sure. Today we're going to be talking about 3 cartoons in particular. It's this one, Invincible, and Star Wars, The Clone Wars, The Bad Batch. But we wanted to start with the shitty one first, and that was, of course, Masters of the Universe. And as Hodor said, it's a show that both of us were hyped for. We spoke about it on multiple podcast episodes, and I've been talking about it on stream and in the Discord and shit, and it finally released, and it was fucking ass. It was so bad. Do you want to start? Do you want to? Because I've watched the whole thing. You've only watched 2 episodes, so you can start and give your opinion.
Okay, let's start with
the
first.
Wait. Actually, I want to say before we get into this, when we are discussing these shows, there is potential that we do get into some spoiler territory.
Yeah, but I don't think it's worth here.
With Masters of the Universe, it doesn't matter because it's a fucking terrible show. You should not watch it. You will fucking hate yourself if you decide to watch it. But with the other ones, you might want to either skip those parts or wait to listen to this podcast until you've actually seen those shows, which you should do because Invincible and The Bad Batch are fucking amazing, and they're not that long. Anyway, let's go. Masters of the Universe slander. Begin.
Okay, number 1. The first episode, this is normally happens with a lot of animated shows, is that the beginning has like a little bad with dialogue because they're new to this, you know. It's the first time they're actually interacting. Yeah, it's acceptable, but
it's like an introduction.
Yeah, so they're a little bit awkward. Okay, that's okay for me because, you know, that can often happen, and you can actually accept that. The big thing that was like, oh no, was when they actually started the fight scenes.
Yeah, bruh, the fight scenes were fucking horrendous.
I mean, look at me. I actually watched a lot of other animated Western cartoons.
Yeah.
Specifically superheroes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you also had the same problem with like how they animate and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the big things I also noticed was the lack of any impact of the combat.
Yeah.
If somebody punched another person, in He-Man, you didn't feel it at all.
Yeah, there was no oomph to the punch, you know. It was like, you know, instead of punching somebody and they're like, ugh, and like kind of like a punch doesn't have to be so hard that they fly back, but it's got to be like, ugh, and you know they shrug.
Effect, yeah.
but here it was like punching a wall, you know.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I felt like it was very awkward how they fought. Like seriously,
the fight scenes were really.
It was so slow. It's like this is not actually only like I will say a He-Man problem. This is actually a recurring thing in Netflix animations when they do like series and they have combat. Yeah. But I think this probably will go on later. But when there's just other things in the other animations or other things in those stories that makes them more likable than this one.
Yeah, this was not. Let's just say this: I watched the whole thing. I wanted to sleep the whole time, but I forced myself to watch it so that I could give it like a full review and talk about it in every aspect here on the podcast. And Hodor couldn't even finish it. He got 2 episodes in and was like, "Fuck this."
I mean, like I just skipped over the second. I'm like, okay, just jump here. Yeah, let's jump here.
Yeah.
So
the combat was really fucking whack. Another thing is there was very little combat. You obviously only saw the 2 first episodes. Throughout the whole thing, there is very, very little combat, and the few instances of combat, as we said, were very bad choreographed. It was awkward as fuck, and the trailer to this show looked absolutely amazing. You know, they had chosen the right cuts and everything, and it looked like there was going to be a lot of combat, action, and it was going to be fucking dope. But that's not what happened, you know? The trailer was really fucking misleading. Also, He-Man had a massive part in the trailer. Spoiler alert, he dies in the first episode and basically never returns. There is one part where they go to like heaven to get a relic that they need. This is also spoiler alert, but I don't think anybody gives a shit. And they meet him in heaven. But that's pretty much it, you know.
Yeah.
I was also, like, fucking hell.
Another thing I would also point out the trailer is those trailers only the first episode.
Yeah, in the trailer they only have content from the first episode in there. Like when you watch that trailer, it's like, okay, it's gonna be like He-Man and his homies, you know, fighting bad guys and shit. That is not what the fuck happens. That is not what happens. The show starts right at the end of a war. He-Man and the big evil Skeletor, they both die and perish, and magic gets fucking taken out of the land. Everybody retires and shit, and then all of a sudden they have to restore the magic to the land, and they go on this fucking quest or whatever. It's I don't know. It was pretty fucking dumb. Yada yada does it. Yar days.
Listen, the ideas was not actually bad. It was very good ideas.
Yeah, I think they had some really, really good concepts. Like, when I was watching it, there would be times in episodes where I would be like, oh shit, this is actually cool. Is it gonna turn around? And then it didn't.
Yeah.
Because they had good ideas, just the people working on it, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, because they executed this shit so poorly.
I mean, look, like, executing the main character and all that, it can actually be done good. We have seen that before. Specifically, spoiler alert for this show, called Game of Thrones. I think everybody knows this because it's so famous. They actually killed in the second or first season?
The first season.
Ned Stark, and later on another main character.
They kill a lot of main characters, bro.
Yeah, but the reason why it works so well in that series, is because they have set up the characters. They have set up that how
they make you care about them.
Yeah, first they care about them. The reason why they fail, why he dies, is not because it's like, oh yeah, this is a real reason why he dies and he just gets his head chopped off, because he has made his actions and that became a consequence of that action.
Yeah. And another thing though is that this first season, it's 5 episodes long. 5 episodes of 23 minutes.
Is that 4 episodes?
No, it's 5.
Okay.
5 episodes, 23 minutes. So there's not a lot of time for anything. The story is extremely fucking rushed. The whole time it feels so rushed, and it makes it so that you do not have time to care for a single character. I did not give a flying fuck. At one point, one of the main cast members sacrifices himself, and I was like, bro, just let me watch this episode so I can go to sleep. I don't give a shit about you.
I mean, yeah. Also, I can think like that. If they wanted to kill him, because killing a main character can actually have good narrative effects, because everybody's suddenly got not this hero that can protect them anymore. They need to actually do things themselves, learn to from their mistakes and all that, and they take up the new responsibility. But when you kill off your character in the first episodes, you can't really build up your characters for that. They should have done that. If they wanted to do that, they should have ended with the season 5. Season 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what happened in the first episode should have been drawn out over the 5 episodes.
Yeah, I feel seriously, the length of some episodes, you can actually. This is also a mistake, because this really felt like you should not have done a season if you only do 5 episodes. You can that's a movie pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's such a fucking waste.
You could or not even a movie, a pilot episodes, Bad Batch has 1 hour.
Yeah,
1.5 hour.
The first episode of Bad Batch is 1.5 hours. Really good episode too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, seriously, the characters, everything was extremely bad.
Yeah.
The idea to have a what was it called, Tila or something? I don't remember.
Yeah.
That can actually work. Also, they could actually have done a series. If they wanted to do a series, you can just make it a series of that, of her. Just have it seriously. People will still watch it. It doesn't need to.
Definitely.
Another thing I disliked immediately was. Do you remember the name of this series?
Masters of the Universe.
It was not He-Man, it was Master Universe. They should actually had all the characters should have important roles. Seriously.
Yeah.
This sounded much more like a team.
It's true. Yeah, it was the way that they set it up and the name and everything. It seemed more like an Avengers type thing.
Yeah.
They have this epic team. Every team member is important. Nah, bro. It's the main. I can't even remember what the fuck the main girl's name is. It's what the fuck is her name?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they done every character bad, in the series.
They did all of them so dirty. But yeah, although I gotta say though, the animation was jank as fuck. I hated it. It really fucking sucked. But the art was really good. The character design and the backgrounds were really fucking. They were high quality and they were pretty as fuck. If you just took screenshots from the show, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
When they start moving, that's when you're like, oh, bro, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. You can actually. You should actually. If they had not the money, do you remember that other show on Netflix?
Yeah.
Stop animation. What was called?
Records of Ragnarok.
No, the Yakuza series.
Where you're the house husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there it was
Stop
actually
motion.
meant. Yeah, if they had not the money, could at least do that, because then you can actually
But
enjoy
they
it.
can't do that for a fucking action series.
Possibly.
Well, they did it for Records of Ragnarok, and it sucked ass.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least better than this
No, but
combat.
But this is what I think, though.
Yeah.
This is Netflix. What the fuck? Netflix is the company that will literally go to random people and be like, here is an insane budget, make something.
Yeah.
That's how they, that's how they used to do, like, how they got their originals, like fucking Stranger Things and all that shit. They just threw insane amounts of money at random people and were like, do whatever the fuck you want. Where has the budget gone? There was no fucking... I don't understand. You guys had Netflix money to create this... It could have been so good. The animation could have been flawless. But instead, it's not.
I mean, yeah, seriously. Like, come on. I mean, I don't understand really. But, one other thing. I don't think this is actually so... It depends, actually. Because the problem can also be that this was the Master of the Universe.
Yeah.
That could have limited them, like... It felt like they could actually have removed a lot of things from the Master of the Universe thing and just made their own series.
True.
That had, like, if they had instead based it on, for example, if it was not He-Man that was the main character, like in the trailer and all that.
Yeah.
It was a random person.
Yeah.
And the heroic, and he died off. Then it would work much better, I think, as a series.
Probably. But okay, so now we've been shitting on the fighting and the animation and that stuff, but that's not where it ends. The voice acting and the comedy. Oh lord. The fucking comedy. You only watched 2 episodes, so you might not have noticed it as much. But holy shit. It was so bad. There was cheesy one-liner after cheesy one-liner. They were basically telling dad jokes and making extremely shitty puns during the whole fucking series. It was so bad. And it was childish jokes too. Like, they marketed this series as a new, more mature version for the He-Man fans who grew up with He-Man, who are now like adults. There was hardly any fighting or violence or brutality whatsoever. And the jokes feel like they're straight out of like fucking Teen Titans Go or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were so bad. I can't remember any off the top of my head now because I watched it like a couple of weeks ago, but it was so fucking cringe. Like, I was visually cringing at that shit.
Yeah, but okay, actually, if we go actually watch the other Netflix shows, like animated, Castlevania, Teresa.
Castlevania is really fucking good.
Yeah, but the difference between this and the other series, is at least they had also good concept, but the most important part, because it's the story that actually was better there.
Yeah.
And the voice acting was actually better in the other series. I don't think combat, because combat was like, that's Netflix combat. If it's like,
but it's still fine in like Castlevania though.
Yeah, I think like they got some level. This is like Netflix combat can definitely improve much better. Seriously.
Yeah, it's something with animated Netflix series and just wanky combat.
Yeah, but at least in the other ones, the story was good. Like, the characters was interesting. Yeah, like you could actually watch them because just for that. I mean, seriously, you don't watch like an actuality because they got good combat, just because they got interesting stories to tell.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And He-Man did not. It was so fucking boring. Literally, do not watch He-Man. Instead of watching, or no, not He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Revelations. Do not watch it, please, guys. Like, go watch an anime, or go watch one of these 2 other cartoons that we're going to talk about in a second, because they are fucking great.
Some other things, actually, with Master of the Universe was foremost, all the good ideas. First and foremost, for example, have the main character die. Okay, that's interesting. The good guys and the villains teaming up. Okay, that's interesting. To save the world. For like have a technocult. This is little bit her task.
The technocult was cool.
Warhammer 40k Mechanicums. It seems very inspired. That was a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
Like the technology. Like, oh yeah, now we are the dominant force.
Okay,
now.
so for anybody who hasn't seen, after the big fight in the first episode. All the magic gets drained from the land, and everybody who was used to having magic has magic no more. And there's a cult that arises that starts developing technology, you know. And it's like, we are not gonna rely on magic, which is this like outside source. We're gonna rely on the technology that we are directly creating.
Yeah.
Like, we are our own power, kind of. It was cool. It
I
was
mean,
cool,
the
but
concept
they were
yeah.
only with for like 5 minutes maximum, and then
Yeah.
they were fucking gone, basically.
Yeah, they felt like filler villains, you know.
Yeah.
They I think they will be
A lot of this show felt like filler. Holy shit.
It's very weird also.
They have 5 episodes, and it feels like fucking filler.
Oh yeah, like oof. Seriously. And actually, I want to actually draw a comparison to another show. I
Alright.
remember I told you about this one, Shera.
Oh, yeah, you've told me about that.
Shera is actually in canon, like the twin sister.
Explain what Shera is first.
In the Master Universe, there's just a lot of characters.
Yes.
Shera is actually the sister to He-Man.
Yep.
And she's sent to another dimension. There she has her own adventure. There she's leading like a rebellion army against the bad guys, like the Horde they call it. And she is actually on the first episode, like it actually starts as one of member of the Horde, and then finds like the sword that He-Man has, the power sword, and becomes like Shera. And they have like this show is a very good comparison to He-Man. It's like 8 of 10 show actually, very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Like the concept of magic and technology, they actually explore that pretty much through that, like how they combine it and why the ancestor did this and all that.
Yeah.
Very many characters also develop very interestingly. Instead of like being like one bad guy, one good guy team, they like change inside all the time.
Yeah.
So a character is not only one side, so they change. Then character development happen a lot.
Yeah.
A good intro, like everything is very good.
See, if you want a He-Man show that is actually good, Shera is for you. What platform do they? I mean,
it's on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's our watch.
I gotta watch that shit.
Yeah. I mean,
wait, is it violent and all that?
No, it's not like it's more children like.
It's more child friendly.
But I like it's much more. It's so much more enjoyable. Like seriously.
Alright, fair enough.
I mean, it's like a lot of children have like enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, fuck, man, I was so excited, and it was so bad, bro. It was so fucking bad. Because it tried to take itself too seriously at times as well, which, first of all, did not mix well with the fact that they were basically telling Teen Titans Go type dad jokes. And then also, because of that, the dialogue was so fucking unnatural. Like, even when they weren't doing one-liners and puns, it was so unnatural. There was only one single highlight for me of this series.
What?
You know what that was?
What?
Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
Yeah.
He was fucking good. He was the only voice actor who was genuinely good, and he was fun. He was fun as fuck, because Mark Hamill is amazing. He's great at voice acting. I mean, he's done the Joker and all that shit. And he did a fucking fantastic job. Whenever Skeletor was on screen, I was like, alright,
yeah,
I can watch this now.
Yeah. Okay.
But he wasn't on screen a lot, so, you know.
Because he died.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like point out this out, like, seriously. You must remember, this is a lot of, like, this is from a cartoon from 1980s with, like, figures that a lot of children is playing. You can't be serious all the time. You got to have,
it's
like...
true, but I understand that. Like, but the thing is, like...
Yeah. I mean,
look at, for example, Guardians of the Galaxy. They're not serious. Sometimes it's very serious, like, you know, spoiler alert for Guardians of the Galaxy 2 real quick, but when, like, Yondu dies, that was super serious, but they also have super funny, goofy moments, and it works, because they have great writers who can, you know, merge the two, and also the jokes are not super fucking cringe and cheesy. So, you know, it's, I don't know.
I mean, I can, like, the voice actors in Master Universe, they didn't understand like when they can go over the humor, like change. Yeah. They did it very awkwardly. Yeah. Felt like. Definitely. I mean, like look at Obi-Wan in the prequels, or
oh hell yeah,
or what was it called?
Yeah.
Sidious. Palpatine. How they acted. They were very fast to change. Like they were very humorous. They were the best characters, and how they acted. Yeah. Because they're very like comedic, like with the acting, for example. Yeah.
But they were
Palpatine is
very good actors.
Yeah,
Like Ewan McGregor is fucking amazing.
I mean, it's how you make an extremely good villain.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
villain and like Obi-Wan. Yeah. We need to continue, I think, though. Now to the other good ones.
Yeah. So in conclusion, Masters of the Universe, do not fucking watch it. Like, genuinely don't.
Delete it from your
I
memory.
guess if you want to kind of get an understanding for what we are talking about now, that is the only reason to watch it.
Or
what?
Or if you want to learn which things, if you want to make movies in the future or series, watch that to know what you should not do.
Yes, exactly. Oh my god, it was so fucking whack, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Let's go to something we can actually enjoy instead of like.
Next up, we're gonna talk about Invincible, because out of these two that we've got left, Invincible is the one that is the most similar to He-Man. Not in a way that it's bad. Invincible is fucking amazing, I thought, but just the way that it's animated. You know, it's 2D animation and all that stuff, and it also mixes serious elements with comedic elements, but it does it very, very good.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I can actually.
Do you want to begin?
Yeah, because I can bring in the backstory a little bit, because I don't think many people know how.
Backstory. Should we first just tell what the fuck Invincible is? Okay, so in case anybody has not seen Invincible yet, it is a cartoon about a more like gritty and realistic take on like superheroes, kind of. You know, we see the Avengers and stuff, and it's all fabulous, you know, they're just beating up the bad guys, but you know, you never really see, you know, like when the fucking attack on New York happens in the Avengers movie and shit, like, real life people fucking die and shit, but we never see that kind of stuff. But here, you see that kind of stuff, it's gritty, and basically, it's about this kid, Mark. This is not, I'm not gonna go into spoilers yet on this, but, his dad is Omni-Man, literally the strongest superhero on the fucking planet, and one day he finally awakens his powers, and he is like, yeah, I want to be a superhero like my dad, and he realizes that being a superhero isn't as fabulous as it seems on TV.
Yeah.
That's basically the premise. You've probably at least seen memes about it. Like, for example, the "Think, Mark, think!" That meme is from there, and then also there's this meme on TikTok with the Venom, where it's like, my kid watching One Piece, and they say, bruh, this show is trash, and then you turn around and it's and you are on. Okay, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You've seen the memes. There's no fucking way you haven't seen the memes. That's this show. So if you want to see those memes actually happen, then you should definitely watch the show. But now, Hodor, give the backstory.
Okay, first you must understand why. Like this, Invincible actually was first a comic.
Yes.
And you must understand why the comic was created. The reason why was because if you've seen DLC and Avengers and X-Men comics,
if you've seen the superhero comics, basically,
then you know how fucking confusing the universe is, or like the dimension and all that, the timeline, how many resets they like have. Like, oh shit, we must do a new reset for this timeline, because otherwise people will be so fucking confused what's happening.
Yeah. If people think like fucking the Fate series or JoJo or something like that is confusing, bruh, try to read like try to understand what's happening in like the OG Marvel comics or the DC comics.
Exactly. And there's a lot of that. And like also another problem is because they have like a separate cartoon for everything, for like Hulk, Iron Man, Thor. The problem is they don't actually interact as much as superheroes as they should. Yeah. So this guy like, okay, I want to actually have a modern superhero cartoon that actually everybody can actually understand, and all the characters can actually interact with each other, and it's constant. It's not like they can develop their own storyline, but you can always follow it in the main comic. And that's
there's a lot of superheroes in Invincible. I mean, Invincible, the guy Mark Invincible, he is of course the main character, but there's a lot of other superheroes in there.
And pretty much that, and another reason also because all tropes, you know, in superheroes, they wanted to like change it, or like, you know, change it. And that's pretty much what Invincible is.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what they didn't like about superhero comics,
Yeah.
and just made that into like their own comic,
Yeah.
and it's now have actually ended, but it's
Yeah.
like 260 or something like that.
It is fucking massive. When I
Yeah.
was going manga shopping in the US, I actually found Invincible, and they had the individual volumes, and then they had like omnibuses. I swear to fucking God. Okay, you guys watching this or listening to this podcast, you can't see this, but hold on. I swear, the omnibuses, like the collector editions, they were like the size of this thing right here. Like, they were thick as fuck. I have never seen a manga omnibus this thick. Like, literally, what was a lot of shit happens in the Invincible. The Invincible series, season 1 is 8 episodes long. Each episode is shy of 50 minutes, like 46 minutes each or something like that. And there is so much that happens in this series. That being said, though, it doesn't feel rushed or crammed in. Everything that happens feels like it happens for a reason, and you understand it. And just this first intro arc, it's so fucking good, and it's so hard to believe, but it's like it's a fraction. It's like 100th of the comic.
I think one of the best
crazy.
advantages is also because it's like Justice League in the most part. Because even if Mark is the main character of Invincible, it also feels like a superhero team. Like it's a lot of superhero characters always on the screen. It's not like they're limited to his perspective all the time.
Yeah, they're showing a lot of perspectives.
So the universe is much more expanded than in comparison than normal.
Yeah.
If you have been limited to like Batman and Gotham, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally, I mean, all of the characters you follow are obviously living in the US, but they go all over the world, you know? Italy, France, Belgium, the Himalayas, you fucking name it. They go all over the place in the series. And it's really cool, you know, because it's not just like restrained to Gotham or Metropolis or whatever. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I also like to point out an interesting thing. You know, Invincible, the name.
Yeah.
I actually think it describes him perfectly.
True.
I mean, people like have made fun because you know, because it's ordinary, but you also got to think he's spiritly like super
invincible.
Strong. Yeah, invincible. I think that feels awesome.
So one thing that I thought was pretty funny was that in the show they have like essentially the Avengers, which is Guardians of the Globe, and in this Avengers
it's actually
team,
a combination of. Is it more inspired by? I actually think it's more inspired by Justice League.
I think that's true. I think it's more inspired by Justice League because they have a character who's like Batman, who's called like the Dark Wing. They've got War Woman, who is Wonder Woman. They got the Red Fishman, who is Aquaman. They got Red Rush. And although these are obviously parody characters, they still feel like their own unique, nice characters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of this, a lot of the comic and a lot of this cartoon, obviously, it is, like, in a way, there is parody and kind of satire about the superhero kind of genre, but it's still... It still is its own serious thing, you know?
I mean, like...
It's kind of like... In that sense, it's a little bit similar to Jackass. Have you seen the movie Jackass?
No.
Okay, it's about this guy...
I think I made it one time.
It's about a guy who wants to be a superhero, so he, like, orders, like, a jumpsuit and a fucking ski mask from the internet and tries to fight villains and shit. And... obviously, in Jackass, nobody has any superpowers. In this, they do, but they both kind of slightly parody the superhero genre, but at the same time is trying to give a quote-unquote more realistic view on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But from kind of different perspectives. So what makes this show so good? First of all, since we started talking about the animation and the fight scenes with He-Man, let's talk about it here. I thought it was really good. The art style looks good. Honestly, the animation was really fucking good too, especially when it counted. Obviously, in like, and this was very good. When there's just like day-to-day shit, like when Mark is in high school or when he's talking to his girlfriend and stuff like that. You know, the animation quality or like the frames per second or whatever, they go down a little bit, and that's understandable because there's not a bunch of shit happening, and that saves on the budget. But once it really matters, when those fight scenes are coming up and shit, it kicks in. The animation kicks in, and we get these really fucking cool fight scenes where, the ground is breaking up and there's fucking rocks flying everywhere, and you can, like, see these punches in slow motion, like, fucking deform someone's face and just, like, knock out teeth and all this crazy shit. Like, they went fucking apeshit.
I like to point this out, like, animation style, I actually compare to a lot of other superheroes, because they have similar styles. Yeah. But the most important difference is also how combat affects, like, seriously, characters. Yeah. Because here, they're not like, like, you can't, like, show blood in often the other ones.
Yeah.
They often about,
here there's blood.
Yeah, it's blood. But
people's jaw gets fucking cracked, teeth fly out, ribs are smashed, legs and arms are fucking snapped in half.
I mean, the combat feels much more real thanks to that, because you actually, another thing I actually love about the series is they don't embrace gore and blood.
Yeah.
They actually, this sounds a lot of killing, all that,
There is a lot of killing.
Yeah, but the most important thing is they don't make it ridiculous. They don't like,
that's true.
Like, now I punch through, oh shit, no blood everywhere. It's like much more realistic, and that makes, because if you have blood everywhere, then it's more like Doom, You don't like, oh, look how realistic it is. It's
yeah, like when okay, so the best way to talk about this is probably to talk about, the scene at the end of the first episode, which will be spoilers, very big spoilers. It is at the end of the first episode, but it is still big spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, I guess close your ears a little bit.
And recommendation: watch the first and then come back.
Yeah, just pause the episode here. Watch the series. If you've planned to watch the series and you don't want spoilers, just go and watch that shit now. Because first of all, you won't get spoilers, and second of all, you will know what the hell we're talking about. So yeah, without that being said, with that being said. Let's talk about this. Yep. When Omni-Man goes to kill Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah.
That was such... I think there were a lot of good fight scenes and epic scenes, but I think the two most impactful were that and the final fight. Yeah. Omni-Man versus Invincible. But let's first talk about Guardians of the Globe getting fucking smashed. First of all, the animation was amazing. Like, when he grabs Red Rush's head and, like, smashes it and it explodes. I don't know. Like,
the shock.
Yeah, first of all, there was crazy shock value when I saw that. I was like, what the fuck?
It was not only you. I think also the heroes.
Yeah, the heroes as well. Because this is somebody who they loved and trust for, like, 20 plus years, and all of a sudden they're getting attacked by him. And when they and first, they're getting attacked and they're kind of freaked out, but when they see him kill the first person, that's like, oh shit, bro, fuck, he really did it. And the fight scene was animated amazingly, and it also shows the point that you made. They don't glorify the gore. Like, when he explodes his head, it's not like a fucking fountain of blood, blood splats, the brain goes mush and the eyeball flies out or whatever, but that's it. That's what would happen if you smash the head. It's not like these shows where like they'll chop off a head and then like a fucking fountain of blood is just spraying out of his neck. Like, it's a lot of gore, but it's realistic gore. Like, that's what would happen if you smash someone's head, or if you chopped someone's head off, or if you broke their legs and shit. And then also, what I really liked about that fight was that when it first started, I was like, bro, he's just gonna fucking slaughter them. But it wasn't like, he wasn't that, like, he got fucked up too. Because he got into a coma for, like, a really long time after that. Like, when that first happened, I was like, oh shit, this fight scene, it's gonna be cool to watch, but he's just gonna come in here and just slaughter them, because he's built up as the strongest man on Earth. But he didn't, there was a point where I was like, oh shit, maybe they're gonna, at least somebody is gonna survive, because at one point, he gets wrapped up by the one fucking Martian guy, I think, and then War Woman and the Immortal and someone else, they just run up on him and just start fucking beating the shit out of him. And you can see Omni-Man, his suit is getting ripped up. He's starting to bleed from his face and his nose and everything. Like, he's taking some serious damage there. But you know, at the end, he fucking kills them.
Yeah. Actually, this is another point, very important, I think.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the comics doesn't actually have that, as like they don't show it on the first. They actually have it later. Revealed.
Okay.
And I think they actually made it much better in the show, because
you as the viewer always know that it happened.
Yeah, the biggest thing is how plot villains often work, or your plot twist, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
A lot of Disney movies have plot villains, you know?
Yeah.
But they're often extremely horrible. Like, oh no, he's a plot villain. That was unexpected. Wow.
Yeah. Like when you find out at the end that they're the villain.
You see, it still works, Invincible, because you don't know what the motivation why he killed them all. And also the other reason is because the most important is that the villain that lies and all that.
Yeah.
Is that the characters don't know about it, or like learns about that. That's the most important.
Yeah.
It doesn't always need to shock the viewers.
Yeah. But I thought it was a really, really good addition to the series because, you know, it happens and you're like, why did he do this? You want to find out what the fuck happened. You know, Cecil and the people at the agency, they're trying to figure out what happened. The devil detective is trying to figure out the case. And his wife, Deborah, is trying to figure out what the fuck happened. There's all these different parties who, for different reasons, want to figure out what happened. And then when they realize, you know, shit, he's the killer, they want to know the reason. And so does the viewer. Like, what the fuck, man? That was crazy, bro.
Yeah. If you're, like, now we probably will talk a little about, like, later spoilers, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the last fight?
And the reason why he does that, like why he actually kills. I think I actually spoiler for like the last part, and the reason why. I actually love this because often like it's a very this is also a very good motivation. Yeah. Plus, it also like makes fun also of another character or another superhero.
Oh yeah.
It makes fun of Superman because you know he comes from another world and he's like, oh yeah, I'm a hero. But most realistically, he comes as a colonizer, because he's here to conquer, help Earth. I'm doing like what's it called?
Quotation marks. He's doing quotation marks.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense because that's a lot of imperialism, and that's like that's actually. And another thing is that Mark's dad. You can also point of him. He's evil, but not like chaotic evil. He's lawful evil. Yeah. In that context, because he actually kills his, but that's an order from the high above. Yeah. And he also was not also entirely in on the order, if you remember, because he in the end he decides to leave, and that's actually then he actually breaks his order and actually becomes a traitor. Yeah. So he was sent. So he's always told Mark and his wife and everybody else that he was sent to Earth as like a protection program, because he comes from this planet with advanced civilization, and they go to other planets to help other civilizations, you know, get out of the mud and kind of advance and protect them. But it turns out, you know, at the end he reveals that, you know, that's not really what they're doing. They were sent there as a first colonizer to start weakening the planets so that when the main forces arrive, they can easily conquer Earth or whatever planet they want to take over. And he tries to see this through, but at the end, you know, during his time at Earth, he tries to deny the fact, but during his time on Earth, he has gained humanity, and, you know, he loves, even if he says he doesn't at one point, he loves his son and his wife, and, you know, he does try to kill Mark, but he can't go through with it, because he just remembers how, you know, happy he was watching his baseball games and stuff, and he eventually leaves. And that's a very interesting, actually, because also Mark here is one of the most interesting characters, because instead of, you know, reacting here like, oh yeah, like, this is a lot like Luke Skywalker, because their board fathers are war criminals and kill a lot of people. They actually still accept them. That's true. Like, because at the end, you know, Omni-Man is obviously, he's trying to get Mark Invincible to join him in the conquest for Earth,
and Mark, he doesn't want to. He wants to protect them, and Omni-Man tells Mark, like, you're gonna live for several thousands of years. Everybody that you know and love will perish long before you. What are you gonna have in 500 years? And he says, I'll still have you, Dad. And then Omni-Man's like, fuck, man.
I can't do it.
Fuck, man.
And that's like how you make one of the best villains,
Yeah.
Like, seriously. You have a character
Like, he has humanity.
He got motives why he's doing that.
Yeah.
He changes because he's on Earth. And
Yeah.
then in the end, it's not like he suddenly like, oh yeah, now I'm a good guy. He's like, it's a slow transformation. It's like, and it's on the last like step.
Yeah. I mean, we still don't know for sure if he's a good guy. He just fucking
No, it's not good guy. But like he still like loves.
Yeah.
So
he couldn't go through with it. And yeah, like fuck, it was really good because like sometimes with villains I like to know their motivation pretty upfront, but I think that the writers for this series did a very good job of kind of, the fact that it was a secret, it made you more invested in the show because that he's done this fucked up shit. But then every day with his son and all of these people, he acts completely normal. He acts like he, loves these people and all that stuff. And meanwhile, you're sitting there like, bro, my guy, you just fucking slaughtered the Guardians of the Globe, and you're like pretending nothing happened. And from that point on, you also see him spiral into madness because, he's trying to cover this shit up, and people start getting closer to realize, and he has to deal with Mark having his superpowers and try to get him on his side, and it's really good. Like, it's not all the time you see a villain who kind of loses grasp of everything. Like, it's like he has everything in his hands, and then once Mark gets his superpowers and he kills the Guardians of the Globe, it's like it starts slipping out of his fingers like sand,
Yeah.
His grip on everything gets looser and looser, and everything goes to shit until he just fucking spirals, and he's forced to just start his invasion essentially.
Yeah. Oof. Like, seriously, super good. Another character, extremely loud, also Chile. What was called? That secret agency for the American?
Cecil.
Cecil. Yeah.
Cecil was really good.
Yeah. Instead of the classic.
Okay, wait. Are we continuing to talk about spoilers?
Yeah, a little bit spoilers, I think. Cecil was so good because instead of the classic, now let's reveal him to the world. Like, shit, we must keep this secret because he can fucking kill us, everybody. We need to find us.
Yeah, that was good.
We need to find his weakness, find out to kill him, build a new team so we can defend Earth. Like, it's not like, okay, let's.
Yeah, they figured out really early, relatively early, that like, okay, Omni-Man did this. He killed the Guardians of the Globe. But instead of, as you said, like announcing that, they couldn't let him know that they knew, because if he knew that they knew, they'd get fucking brutally murdered. So they had to keep this under wraps. They had to try to find the reason why and how they could stop him.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they were thinking about how to stop him was Mark, of course. But they didn't know if Mark was a safe gamble. Yeah. If Mark was gonna be with or against his father.
Yeah. All over the series also, like, they also do like very great things. Like, this is actually, because I think this exists a lot of different levels in superhero comics.
Yeah.
Because in Avengers we got Nick Fury. Nick Fury. He's very much like, I think him as the most goodest of like the secret agency. Like, he's very much not doing bad guy stuff. What is in DC?
Yeah.
What's he called again?
I don't remember.
Yeah, but something with W. I remember, right?
I don't fucking know, bro.
Yeah, but in Suicide Squad.
In Suicide Squad.
The boss lady. She is normally like, she's very grey evil. Like, she's very much like setting up suicide colors, like experimenting. Like, she's doing very much illegal things. Like, as like agency. Cecil feels for me like the most. He's the between them. Like, he's a good
in
character.
The gray area.
Yeah, but he still will do awful stuff.
He will do awful stuff for the greater good.
Yeah, because for example, remember that robot guy? He hires him.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, this could be helpful to stop Omni-Man. Let's hire you.
Yeah.
And he, for example, when the other guy, like the devil.
Yeah.
like finds out, he banish him instead of like letting it be known.
Yeah. Yeah, he does a lot of. So yeah, you kind of. I guess a character that I think. Okay, okay, the character that I'm about to name drop right now, I hate with a burning passion, because I feel like he was doing too much evil for the good. But it's kind of similar to like Danzo from Naruto, because Danzo was taking shit into his own hands and doing, evil stuff for quote unquote the good. Yeah. But I feel like the evil stuff that Danzo was doing was way too much, and a lot of that quote unquote good was just stuff that he had built up in his own head. Yeah. Cecil feels way more like actually good. Yeah. But still doing some really...
Because you can still feel compassion from him.
Yeah.
Because he does still like, he calms down Debris, like he...
Yeah. Yeah, he's still a good guy, he tries to help the family as much as possible throughout this situation. And one way that they do that is by not telling the family anything, which seems pretty evil, and it is pretty evil, but they had to do that, because if they tell the family, then Omni-Man would know that they know, and all of that shit, But yeah, Cecil was fucking great.
What was the other character you talked
about? Who?
You talked about somebody like entirely evil, or...
What, Danzo?
No, yeah, was it somebody else than Danzo?
Nah, not that I can think of. But the other characters in the show were fucking great as well. Yeah. Like the new Guardians. Okay, should we stop with the entire spoilers now?
Yeah. Spoiler ends here.
Spoilers end here, yes.
I think this is not, or is that because Guardians of the Globe,
whatever. But let's just say there were a lot of good characters.
Yeah. For example, Mark has a team,
Yeah.
He's not the captain, but he's in a team, like.
Wait, what? No, Mark is not in a team.
No, but he helps them often.
He helps them often, yes.
Yeah, it's like if you've seen Young Justice, it's like that, or like what's it called, Teen Titans. A group of younger heroes working together.
Yeah.
And Mark often is like their Superboy, like
Yeah.
The smaller, like super powerful.
Yeah.
And
he helps them out sometimes.
Yeah. And I feel like they're very inspired of Teen Titans because
But I feel like every single character in that team, they have very unique personalities and stuff, and they all get development as well. Which for a season of only 8 episodes, sure, the episodes are like the length of one episode here is like the length of 2 episodes in like an anime.
Yeah.
So really, it's more like like fucking 16 episodes or whatever. But still, the amount of the amount of development these side characters get is really fucking good. And I found myself really invested in a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean...
especially like Robot and Monster Girl.
Yeah.
Their whole thing going on.
Yeah.
And also Adam Eve, doing her thing. And although this is like most of the time these superhero movies or series or whatever, they have like a little romance aspect, but oftentimes that romance aspect is almost only set up in order to be like a hostage for the villain.
Yeah.
But here, it didn't feel like it, It was like a genuine romance thing that felt really realistic, like I could fucking relate to that shit. And it was really nice watching. Yeah. I was sitting there the whole time like, all right, when is she going to get kidnapped? But she didn't. She didn't get kidnapped any time.
Yeah, and plus, I remember if one relationship also ended, like... I think so.
What do you mean?
Nah, that may be not something else.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember here. I'm not watched it like so,
Yeah, I literally watched it like last night.
Yeah. I know it's true, like theories and all that.
Yeah.
Like overviews, because I love that stuff. I'm like always watching those stuff.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but I think the best comparison I think to that series.
Yeah.
Like all the back is 2 series. The Boys. Because of seriously, but I think The Boys are much more gritty.
Yeah.
And
this is very gritty as well.
Yeah, but Boys are much more less comedic, I think, and like...
True.
And Boys are very much like taking a very even darker tone on superheroes, because in Invincible,
the
heroes are still good guys, like They
Well,
actually still
yeah.
have good motives. Some of them are bad guys, but for the most part, they actually do right things.
Yeah,
By the boys, like every superhero is a bad guy, and yeah.
that's true. That's true.
Then we got the other series.
All right, wait. Before we move on to the other series, let's, as we did at the end of Masters of the Universe, we'll give a little conclusion. Invincible is really good. It's only 8 episodes. Sure, those episodes are like 46 minutes long, but I would definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you like superheroes, you like drama, and you like more gritty shit. Because this is a very gritty take on superheroes. You know, it's not always that fancy shit that you see on TV, and it does it really, really good. I might start reading the comic, honestly. After watching the first season, I kind of want to start watching the comic because I can't fucking wait for the next season, man. It was so good. But yeah, that's the conclusion here. It's really good. Go watch it. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Even like the romance aspects and like the slice of life aspects of this series are genuinely good.
Yeah, it's just super good series.
Hell yeah.
I mean, another comparison I would draw is Batman.
Yeah.
That Batman the anime series, because it's a very old one, but you know how Batman was very also adult-like. Seriously, character died, like a lot of dark things happened, but it also very gritty because they got superpowers and all that. Some people.
Yeah.
And we got like Batman, who is like, they don't show
he
like gore, but you know they still high character could die. And
yeah. But yeah, that was the conclusion on Invincible. Go watch that shit. It's fucking great. Now it's time for the last main one that we're going to talk about here. That is none other than Star Wars The Bad Batch, which is essentially like a kind of a Clone Wars spin-off.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into talking deeply about it, I'm going to say it's really fucking good. And basically, if you haven't seen it already, the main premise is this. We've got the Bad Batch, who are a squad of clone troopers who have been, you know, uniquely modified. So they are a lot more free-thinking, and they are stronger. They have way better combat skills than normal clone troopers.
Okay, I can take up this.
Okay, sure, go for it.
For example, normally, when clones get a wrong mutate, they often get disadvantages. For example, they got a hunchback. Remember that clone? Yeah. And his death and all that shit.
Yeah, that was sad in the Clone Wars.
But these clones actually get a advantage mutation. That actually, they get super strength.
Yeah,
they
or
get
enhanced vision.
Yeah, things that actually benefits them and makes them superior than regular clones.
Yeah.
But these clones also, as a consequence of this, gets more independent, for example.
Yeah.
And more example,
they're not
critical thinking. They also like their sizes, for example, some are bigger than normal clones. They go to also different hairstyles because they have mutated to another hairstyle. So that makes them like clones, but
they're
clones
individuals.
Individuals, much more than regular clones.
Yeah, and also they can break order, you know.
Yeah.
And so basically what happens is execute Order 66. That happens. If you haven't seen episode 3 of Star Wars, then what the fuck are you doing with your life? Basically, you know, at the end of the Clone Wars, Emperor Palpatine, he, executes Order 66, where all the clones are supposed to turn on the Jedi and kill them. And the Bad Batch, as they are free thinkers, and they can think critically, and they, for some reason, have something wrong with their, like, implanted chip.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just because they're genetic mutated.
Well,
it's just a different, because all like Order 66 ships are entirely like built for clones, like the same genetic structure. They are a little bit different. That makes that the order can fail.
So Execute 66 happens, right? And they're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the war is over. We fought the war alongside the Jedi. What's happening? They go back. They think real weird shit is going on. They get sent out on and you know, one thing leads to another. They're like, yo, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but we gotta get out of here because this is not right. And they escape. And now they kind of have to find their way in this galaxy where the Republic is turning into the Empire. if I say much more than that, I'm gonna start dropping serious spoilers.
Yeah.
But that is the main premise. So if you think that sounds cool, go watch that shit.
Okay.
Okay. Also,
Yeah.
this is the best thing that has come out of the Star Wars IP since Rogue One.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
seriously.
like the sequel movies are ass. The Han Solo movie was this shit here though, this shit's amazing.
If you just follow David Filoni, you can see which series are the best.
Yeah.
Like Mandalorian, Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yeah,
and
Mandalorian.
Bad
Okay,
Batch.
Mandalorian is also really good. I
Yeah,
forgot
and
about
all
that.
of them are of course made by David Filoni.
Yep. And basically, like, if you like Star Wars: The Clone Wars, this is like that, but it has a way more linear approach, and it's a lot more gritty and dark.
Yeah.
Clone Wars got pretty dark, especially in the last seasons, but this is even more dark and violent.
I got to say, like,
shit.
I feel like Bad Batch is like the refined, like finished, like the refined, like the refined Star Wars: The Clone Wars. They refined all the parts already in Clone Wars, and now the completion is Bad Batch, pretty much. All the effort and all that.
Yes. So, shall we start by talking about the animation, as this has become kind of the pattern: animation and then story and whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Like, this animation style is one of the best, seriously.
It's
CGI,
so good.
If you're talking about CGI, it's one of the best, seriously.
Yeah, it's one of the best, like, CGI 3D animated.
This is of course not like the reason why it's so good is because, you know, Star Wars Clone Wars happened, and this CGI actually started to get good, super good, like 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th season, super good.
Yeah.
And like this.
So it's the same art style and animation style used in the Clone Wars, but it's obviously over time been refined, and now they have a super fucking big budget as well, so it looks really good.
Yeah, it's actually a theory, like, I think people like to believe the reason why Star Wars Clone Wars was like cancelled when Disney bought it was because it was too expensive to make every episode, because there was so much money invested into the like anime style, and that's why also it's so short, like part 7, the last Star Wars Clone Wars, and that's probably why it's not like 20 episodes comparison to a lot of the shows. Because the animation style is the best, seriously. It's one of the best I've seen. Like,
it's so good.
Yeah.
And also, because of the fact that it's obvious when you 3D animate something like this, it's not like Invincible or fucking He-Man, where it's when it's 2D animated and you kind of draw each frame. There's a lot more work, there's a lot of work that goes into both animation styles, but that is when you oftentimes can get choppy and funky animation where it seems like the frames per second are too slow, you know, in the 2D hand-drawn kind of shows. Here, where there are 3D models that you are animating onto, it lets the animation be so much smoother. You know, it looks way more fluid, it looks more
clean.
real. It's so clean, you know, all the movements, it looks like it's, you know, fucking
think if
100 plus FPS or some shit.
Think like that. Think if Netflix had done like Star Wars: The Clone Wars and refined like the animation style, like they had done like for multiple series instead of like having the same like combat style.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Oh. Yeah, I think
there's
Bad Batch has just inherited all the best traits from Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah,
seriously, it's just
facts.
Just the best things. Yeah, we are taken from them. This is how we develop it more and more, and made it so fucking good. Yeah,
so I mean, I guess that's all we can really say about the animation.
Yeah,
because there's nothing really you can compare it to.
Nah.
Like it's its own. Like there are other CGI animated series out there, like anime series like Beastars, Dorohedoro, but they're still so fucking different from this.
I think like Star Wars has the most unique and most actually good like CGI.
Yeah,
for an animated series.
It's fucking great.
It's fucking insane.
It's so good. It's so good, bro.
Another thing I actually love is also, this is one thing also from the Star Wars Clone Wars, is the music and the themes.
Yeah.
If you ever heard about it, it's so perfectly like
they have really good scoring.
Yeah.
Which is freaking amazing. And also, I think compared to Clone Wars, here on the Bad Batch, the character designs and shit is way more gritty.
Yeah.
Like everything looks dirty and kind of beat up because they've just gone through this fucking massive war, you know?
Yeah.
And they're tired, they're fucking beat up, they've been shot, they've been scarred, they've, like, and it just looks so good.
Look, remember, like, this is a continuation of Star Wars Clone Wars, like, you see in Star Wars Clone Wars and forward to the Bad Batch, how it slowly becomes more and more grittier the more it goes, like, the series turning darker, the series, like, everything, it's like very, if you watch Star Wars Clone Wars first, and then Bad Batch,
the biggest turning point, but I think the biggest turning point in Star Wars The Clone Wars was, you know, when they think Ahsoka had betrayed.
Yeah.
That is when it really starts getting dark as shit.
Yeah. Oof. Like, seriously.
Fuck, man. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, Star Wars Bad Batch also works extremely well, I think, as a standalone series. Yeah. I'm not sure because we have watched Star Wars Clone Wars first, but I'm pretty sure you can actually start there.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really need the I think you need the context of, you need the context of Episode 3.
Yeah.
And Episode 4. Like, you need to know that the Clone Wars was a thing, and you need to know what Execute Order 66 is, and you need to know
what the Empire is.
That's what you need to know, but you don't need to have seen the whole Clone Wars, obviously.
But you still should, because it's
really good.
Plus it builds up Bad Batch, because it hypes up it extremely much.
Wait, are the actual Bad Batch ever present in the Clone Wars?
Yeah, one arc. The first arc in season 7.
Oh, right.
They're introduced in.
Right. So you should definitely watch that.
Yeah.
But hell yeah.
Let's talk about.
So but wait, I just want to.
Yeah.
So if you're not like a massive Star Wars fan or anything, and you don't want to sit through 7 seasons of Clone Wars just to watch the Bad Batch, you don't have to. But you should watch the original Star Wars movies, like the prequels and the original trilogy. Not the sequels. You don't need those. Those are fucking garbage. Don't go close to them. But watch, you know, episodes 1 to 6 at least. I think that will give. I mean, you don't even have to watch you can watch like episodes 1 to 4 and understand what's going on in the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now we've talking about the animation a bunch. Shall we get more deep into the story and the characters?
I think,
because the animation is obviously really good, but this is where the series really shines. First of all, the cast.
Yeah, cast.
Fucking great.
Also, do they have different voice actors here?
No. It's the same voice actor. Okay, so
this is what I love with Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Bad Batch. It's
for anybody who doesn't know, the clones in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, they all have the same voice because they're clones of each other. So they're all voiced by the same guy. And in the Bad Batch, all the main characters, since they are mutated, they have slightly different voices, but they are still variants of that kind of Australian accent that the clones have. So it is still the same guy, and it's so fucking funny. Like, that guy must get paid so much. Yeah. Because the thing is, when they're producing this series, they, like, the whole main cast is voiced by the same guy, and a lot of the antagonists are clones as well. Which means that a super big part of like the entire series is just voiced by one guy. So in the long run, Disney's probably saving money, but that guy is probably getting paid a lot more than your average voice actor, because he's not voicing 1 or 2 characters. He's voicing like fucking 60 characters in this.
The best part, he is one of the best. Like,
he is so good. The voice acting is top tier.
He's not just the best voice actor. He also knows how to interact with his voices. He knows how to have a dialogue between his characters. Yeah. With all the voices.
He just has dialogues with himself. Also, wait. Now that we're talking about voice acting, I forgot to say this about Invincible, but also Invincible has really good voice acting.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, back to the Bad Batch now.
Seriously, that one guy is has been legendary for both Clone Wars and the Bad Batch.
Yeah, he is the fucking GOAT. Oh my god, it's so funny to think about it, but he does such a good job. He is so good. He is so fucking talented. Oh man.
I mean, it's a lot of talented actors, but how many actors can have tons of clones and give everybody a different voice?
It's crazy, man.
I mean, like, seriously. It's also how, like, he is one of the reasons why clones are so memorable.
Yeah.
Plus how they actually write
that voice and everything. Yeah. The writing combined with like the absolute top tier performance by that guy. Like, it's one guy voicing all these clones, or Wait, how many? They are. Wait, it's Hunter, Tech, Rec. What the fuck are the?
What is it called again? Hunter.
No, we said
No,
Hunter.
what they call?
Okay, we're listing up the guys in the Bad Batch. It's
Echo.
Okay, Hunter, Tech, Rec, and Echo, and then obviously there's the last Crosshair.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go into spoilers yet.
Yeah.
But they are all voiced by the same guy, and he manages not only to give them all unique voices that still sound derived from the original clone voice, but they also have extremely unique personalities, dialogue patterns, and whatever. And, you know, their unique personalities, obviously a part of that comes from how the show is written and how their dialogue is written, but a lot of that also comes from the delivery, you know, how he decides these characters sound when they talk. And it's so fucking good. Like, it's so hard to explain to somebody, especially if they haven't seen it, but you for anybody who's seen The Bad Batch, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's some of the best voice acting I've seen ever.
I mean, seriously, like, I feel like more people should know about him, actually, as a voice actor.
Yeah, he is amazing.
I think, like, seriously.
Has he done... Wait, I gotta fucking Google
because
this,
it feels like, if you made, like, a Star Wars, like, movie, like, about the clones, and he was voice acting it, and it, like, actually people watched it, like, everybody, then he would get so much credit, seriously. Because it's
crazy.
Like, because people, because this is still a Star Wars animated, like, cartoon, you know, but people tend to, like, nah, it's for children, nah.
This is not for children, this is
dark
pretty
shit.
fucking dark, yeah. Oh, alright, keep talking about this stuff while I look up,
seriously, Bad Batch, if you're not watched Star Wars Clone Wars, if you feel, like, unsure about watching 7 seasons, just watch the Bad Batch and then watch Star Wars, the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Star Wars Clone Wars has, in the beginning, good episodes, some bad episodes, but it's become better and better, because, Bad Batch is pretty much, when they have reached the mountaintop, pretty much, of all the difficulty they have reached.
Yeah. Yeah, in this series, it's every single episode is so good. Literally from start to finish, you feel really, really invested. You know, unlike He-Man, they take the first episode, the intro episode, where they set up the characters and where they set up the plot. It's not like a fucking 25-minute episode that just is over like that. It is 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, the setup to the pilot episode, the setup, you know, the real quote unquote real Bad Batch doesn't start until episode 2, like the actual plot of the series, but the whole setup is long, but it, like, when you're watching it, it's the length of a fucking movie, but it doesn't feel like you're watching a movie. It felt like it was over so fast, because it was so good, and it sucked you in from start to finish. You were like, this is dope as fuck. I love these characters. I want to see what the hell is gonna happen.
Seriously.
It might also be because we two are also very, very invested in Star Wars to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, we really like this franchise, so when there is a good series that comes out of it, we're obviously gonna be invested. But I think even for pretty newcomers, you can probably appreciate it from start to finish.
I mean, like, seriously, you don't even need to watch for the characters, you can just watch for the animation. So fine it is, you can actually just watch for the animation.
Yeah.
Also, like, compared to He-Man, I thought, like, you could watch for combat, you know. That was worthless, but, you know, in Bad Batch, you can just watch it animated entirely through, and it's hard to explain if you not watch it.
Yeah.
This is brilliance.
Yeah, it's so good.
I feel like people also, it's when people talk about anime a lot, they actually never watched, like, Star Wars and Clone Wars. It feels like it. Seriously, it deserves seriously a lot more credit than people actually. If people knew about it more, this is probably one of our goals in to spread awareness about Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Bad Batch.
Hell yeah, especially Bad Batch.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars, I really like the Clone Wars, but it's understandable if somebody, you know, doesn't want to sit through all of that. But the Bad Batch is so fucking good. It is so good. It is not like a child's show. It is.
Yeah.
It is fucking great from start to finish, and it's got a really good and
yeah.
serious story.
My recommendation, probably, if you don't never watch Star Wars Clone Wars, if you're not sure, is actually because Star Wars Clone Wars can have some bad episodes sometimes.
Yeah.
Is to actually watch Bad Batch first to get hyped up,
True.
and then watch Star Wars Clone Wars.
True.
Or if you have the degradation, actually go through Star Wars Clone Wars, and always remember this when you watch that show. Every episode, every season will get better. It's a constant spiral upwards. It's never gonna go downwards. It's always up.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I remember. Okay, this has nothing to do with the Bad Batch, but I remember when before the series came out, they made a movie, the Clone Wars movie. I remember watching that in the movie theaters. I thought it was so fucking epic when they had to save Jabba the Hutt's child or something. I have that movie on DVD. I don't know why I said that, but I just really I just got like a flashback to my from my childhood.
Because people actually hated the movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but I liked it.
It was first and foremost probably actually it was supposed to be part of the season, and instead of like it was made into a movie.
Well, I think it was but I think the movie was kind of. It wasn't a pilot episode for the season, but it kind of functioned like a pilot for the whole series.
Yeah.
Like they kind of wanted to test the concept.
Yeah, and a lot of things went wrong there, but they learned from it. The important lesson, they learned from it.
Yes, and they really improved, both in the series and now in Bad Batch.
Yeah, both.
But the Bad Batch is essentially, it's a tale about brotherhood, camaraderie, and adapting to change.
Yeah.
Especially as a soldier. Like, honestly, okay, obviously we've never gone to war, but I feel like this could even be relatable to
war veterans.
Veterans. All you've done, you've been training, you've gone to war, your friends have been dying, and then
it ends.
It ends. It's over. What the fuck are you supposed to do now,
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like the Bad Batch is not like the status quo. The status quo has just now ended, and whole new era is about to start. Like every effect, like I think this is not spoiled because they for example now they introduced Imperial credit.
Yeah.
Before they had a lot of different currencies on every planet. Now they decided every currency should be replaced with one currency. That's the entire episodes of 2 episodes about that. Only that.
It was like the second episode, I think. When they have to take that shuttle off the planet.
A lot of different changes happening all the time. And you're feeling and the soldiers are trying to adapt to this new world.
Yeah, and it's really hard because, they are just so used to this old stuff. And how they deal with Omega.
Yeah, it's also not only them. It's also a lot of clones.
Yeah.
What's the new place in this new world? What's new place? That's a very big plot points in.
Yeah, what's their place in... Yeah. Not just for them, but for the actual clones who are still with the Empire. The Kaminoans are trying to, they're like, okay, well, the Empire wants to start recruiting actual people and shit as well. So, we gotta kind of figure out how to stay in favor with the Empire and keep creating clones. Yeah. It's really, really interesting. There's a lot of, politics behind the scenes. It's a lot of interesting setup for, the Empire, if you really like Star Wars. There's stuff for everybody here, whether you're a newcomer and just want to see this, cool story about these soldiers or whatever, or if you're a long-time Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Another thing, actually, is, what was it? I think also it was extremely good that they had in the, era of change. It's not in, the status quo era. It's everything is changing. The politics, the technology, the army, everything is changing. Nothing is staying the same. Because in a lot of series, it's the status quo. For example, Korra, Avatar. Avatar starts, and Korra is there's an edge between where the industrialization happened.
Yeah.
They have some comics about that, actually, about the start of that. And you actually see the after effect of this change coming, and Korra is that after effect. Yeah. But you don't see the era of transition for the most part.
Yeah. But this is the era of transition.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really cool to see.
It's a very this actually I think a lot more people should explore.
Yeah.
He-Man tried actually a little bit.
That's true. That's true. He-Man was trying to go for a similar thing. The magic disappeared from the universe. It was there's always been this massive battle against Skeletor, and then all of a sudden, He-Man, the champion of the world, and the big bad guy, they're dead. They're gone. Magic is also gone. What the fuck do we do now?
Yeah, and
what's our place?
I
in
love
this?
it because
But
it's a lot
they
of
failed.
Yeah, because I draw inspiration from Japan when they were closed down, and then American came and like that. The westernized and industrialization process.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting period for me because that's a rapid change of a society from one sort of society to an entirely new sort of society.
Yeah,
and what remains from the old, what comes with the new, it's like that I want to see more of.
Yeah, but that's what's happening in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
or no, not the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch.
Yeah, Bad Batch.
Because the Bad Batch, they're a relic of the past.
Yeah. Oof, I want more like that.
I know,
because it's it's like a lot of interesting conflicts can happen.
So good. Yeah, and season 2 is premiering next year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Here, let me just.
They confirmed season 2 after like the final of Bad Batch.
After the finale, yeah. Here, let's see here. Yeah, it just on IMDb it just says season 2 premiere 2022. When the fuck is that gonna be?
Don't know.
I don't know, but sometime in 2022, and I am really fucking looking forward to it. Oh my god, bruh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, so if you can't tell already,
we're super hyped.
We're fucking super hyped. Yep. We love this shit so much.
Yeah. Hopefully this is another thing super good in Bad Batch. The politics.
Yeah.
It's a lot of intrigue. It's not like Star Wars Clone Wars had intrigue. Oleon was not so good, but it developed in like how advanced it was, how they actually made good political dramas.
Yeah.
And here they actually develop it to extremely good, like seriously.
Yeah.
Oof. I want more, like I actually want more politics, like there's a lot of
I'm sure there will
things.
be more in the second because I think a lot of times with seasons or with shows like this, they have the first season, it's more like action and stuff. It's still very interesting politics going on and stuff, but it's more like they gotta hook you in, and then in the second season they start doing more politics and shit, which is very interesting.
Because I know, for example, the Empire start nationalizing a lot of like different companies to like have them produce more materials for the Empire. That would be an interesting topic. Yeah. For example, they also start mass imprisoning aliens now, like because human first is the Empire. Yeah. And that will also be interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff like coming, like politically coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
I also would like to see like the early stage of rebellion, because the rebellion was not like a sort of thing, was like a loose collision of. We saw that actually in Rogue One, because they were like
Rogue One was really good.
Yeah,
Rogue One was like the best Star Wars movie that Disney has made.
Yeah.
Oof. But okay, so during this whole time, okay, wait. First of all, I just gotta check how long we've been going for.
Oof. Damn! Like seriously, top show.
Seriously, damn.
Like I mean, there's just a lot of different opportunities to see how the VR does change.
We've been going for 1 hour and 20 minutes. We can keep going.
Yeah.
So, honestly, like, especially to newcomers who haven't seen these series, I don't know if what we have been talking about actually helps you get a kind of grip on whether you... Like, I don't know if we have, like, constructively been telling you guys why you should watch these shows, or if we've just been fucking fanboying out here and just ranting about shit. Either way, I hope it's been entertaining.
Yeah.
But now that we've talked about these, let's compare it to, anime. Because that's kind of what we were planning to do, talk about these more recent attempts at more mature Western comics, and if they potentially can compete with anime. Because I think the reason that people are so into anime compared to the Western comics is because a lot of Western comics are just really fucking childish.
Yeah.
And, that's fine, but sometimes, I want to see, a dark drama. I want to see a gritty fucking action thing happening. I want to see politics. I don't want to see fucking Robin and Starfire like...
Yeah, I feel like in Western, it's like... when it's animated, it's expected to be like... If it's not like a comedic, like Family Guy, then expected to be like childish. Yeah. But I don't want... But it feels like a lot... I myself, you also, have another friend. He doesn't like watch anime. He just watch One Punch Man, Yeah. he have agreed with me that why people actually watch anime. One of the big reasons is because there exists no adult like oriented stuff in the West. You know? No,
because it's like in the West, people just have the fucking thought like if it's a cartoon, it's for kids. You know, you've got tons of people who don't watch anime who just say anime is for kids. There is anime for kids, but anime as a whole thing is not for kids. You know, and I think that comes from the same place that like the reason that there hasn't really been that many attempts at, you know, more adult Western comics or cartoons until now is because of that kind of thought that, you know, if it's a cartoon, it's for kids.
Yeah.
But I think now, like, anime is more popular than ever. You know, even big companies like Netflix are, you know, getting as much anime as possible on their platform.
Yeah, a lot of different.
And I think due to that, they're realizing now, like, oh shit, okay.
There exists a very big audience.
There's a really big audience for, like, of mature people watching anime, cartoons, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe we should give this a go. And for the most part, I'd say it's been pretty successful. Like, The Bad Batch and Invincible, really fucking good.
Yeah, they prove, like, the concept, like,
Yeah.
yes, people will actually watch this, not only because, even if it seems like animated, people will still watch it. It's not like, I feel like also the stereotype of Disney, all the other, you know, big entertainment companies who only made like children's, like, no, they're not often like, you know,
I know what you mean.
princess stories and all that. They have made it very here in West, like extremely children based.
Yeah.
But in Japan, there exists children, but a lot of it are adult, like, you know, or teenager.
But also, I think in Japan, like, even shonen anime, which is meant for young boys, it's way more mature than stuff over here in the West. Because I think in Japan, like, people are more fine with, like, showing younger children, you know, like, gore.
Yeah.
You know, people dying and stuff. Because, you know, Naruto, from the first arc, people are fucking dying brutally, and it's sad as fuck.
I mean,
you would never, ever see that.
Because it feels like
on like Nickelodeon or something.
Because the West, like in a lot of West countries, it's very much like, no, we don't want that on our channels because that's too adult.
Yeah. But man, I'm glad that this is starting to, because previously I watched pretty much no Western cartoons whatsoever. Like, I'd watched Avatar and that kind of stuff, obviously.
Avatar and Star Wars The Clone Wars, because that's what pretty much.
Yeah.
Star Wars Clone Wars is pretty old now. It's like is 2000 started like that, and
started when we were really young.
Yeah, and those two series was like the only ones you can actually watch that was adult themed. If it was not like Tintin, because that's a little. Yeah. But that's
And also, compared to anime is also a lot more, just in general, linear.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of Western cartoons are it's like every episode is kind of its own thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
There is, like, for example, in Rick and Morty, there is a little bit of linearity.
Yeah,
but for the most part, every episode is like its own contained thing. And that's how it's I mean, I fucking love Rick and Morty, but most of the time I feel like when a cartoon is doing that, it's you can't get invested in it, you know? There's no long-term investment. And I get why they do that I kind of get why they do that in children's cartoons, because I guess they figure that, you know, children, they just want to see like an episode that's funny or whatever. They can't, you know, try to wrap their heads around a big plot. But at the same time, that's what, you know, Naruto is doing, One Piece, all of these anime and manga over in Japan have fucking insane, massive, super intricate plots, and the kids over there fucking love it.
Yeah, I think people believe children are too stupid for that to understand that.
Yeah, people fucking underestimate children here.
Yeah, bruh.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Season 2 of Invincible and Season 2 of The Bad Batch, and I'm excited to see what other stuff comes in the future. Netflix, for the time being, man, y'all gotta get your fucking shit together.
I know that actually,
because Amazon Prime they came out of fucking nowhere and made a banger Invincible series.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, Disney,
I know
they
that
got their
Netflix
fucking Bad Batch.
I'm not sure how the combat will look for this, but I'm pretty sure that it will be Netflix. But I think this will be a much more interesting story at least.
What?
They're doing a Witcher series. You know,
Oh,
the
The
mentor of Geralt.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Animated?
Yeah, he's the same voice actor we did in Castlevania.
Okay. If that turns out, I'm excited for that.
I'm not sure the combat though, but you know, because that's still will be Netflix combat. But I think the story.
Well,
will be
hopefully they can fucking learn from the shit show that is Masters of the Universe. They
Yeah.
haven't learned in the past, but in the past, the thing is in the past, even if the combat and stuff has been janky in other shows, they've still been good shows overall.
Oh yeah.
Here, like, everything I've seen online about Masters of the Universe, it's just disappointed fans, this shit is whack, and nobody is vibing with it, you know.
Yeah.
So they're definitely gonna have to take notes now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, like adult cartoons actually
Yeah.
involving comedies actually have started to embrace plot lines now.
That's true.
The new ones at least, like
Yeah.
Final Space definitely. That's like entirely through. They got the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we need to do, and this will reach and all that shit, and that's extremely good.
And I mean,
yeah,
Rick and Morty's, like, out of these things like, you know, Family Guy and stuff, Rick and Morty has like a plot line as well. Like there are actual plot lines. Each episode is kind of like its unique thing, but there are some episodes that kind of puzzle together this plot line, like, you know, the fucking Beth is a clone,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
I think also some other show. I don't remember that Medieval.
Oh right, Disenchanted.
Disenchanted.
That
I would
was
say
pretty
like,
good.
the first season was not so good, I think,
Yeah.
myself. But the second season improved a lot.
Yeah.
And that also has a main plot line through.
Yeah, but again, it's mostly focused on comedy.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I don't always want to watch a comedy show, or at least not have comedy as the main focus, you know? Invincible has comedy. The Bad Batch has comedy in it, but it's not the main focus. The main focus is
Yeah.
like the drama, the action, the plot, you know?
Yeah, but it seems like also that adult comedic also actually are going to that way, like
Yeah.
actually concentrating now more on plot, more on characters, like how they develop instead of, you know, just
If they
being
could
great.
make a comedy western that is similar to like Gintama, that would be awesome. Because Gintama
Yeah.
is my favorite comedy anime and manga. It is so fucking good, and that. I mean, I'm not gonna go into deep detail on Gintama now. I can talk about that another time. But if you've seen Gintama, you know what I'm talking about. It's comedy. It's got a plot. It's linear, and it's fucking great. So if they really can pull something off like that in the West, that would be awesome. If not, I just hope that they keep making more shit like Invincible and The Bad Batch and whatever.
Yeah, bruh.
What?
No, I must have fixed this.
The parking.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needs to turn up the time for the parking.
So,
Ah,
man, I mean, yeah, for the most part, at least we're seeing improvements in this sector, you know.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, 2 out of 3 are amazing.
Yeah.
And we are hyped for the next seasons, and we are hyped for more shows like them to start being developed, because this has been a proof of concept. Now people will see this, and they will hopefully start, you know, hopping on the bandwagon and putting out more dope shows like this.
I actually hope now for an animated film that actually adult and actually
And,
like
yeah.
bombs or like takes. I'm not sure bomb is a good word.
Bomb is that it fails.
Oh no, that's extremely bad, but extremely successful, because then companies be like, oh shit, look at that. That
Yeah.
shows that we can make a
What,
lot
wait,
of profit.
what kind of
Yes, some.
How do you
like,
mean?
Like some actually
compared
adult.
to an anime movie or something? Do
Yes.
you mean like Because when it comes to like anime movies, most of them are like romance and
Yeah.
stuff.
I
or,
mean like
drama.
more like not such, like something like Invincible or something like that.
Okay.
Something like that actually can show that you can talk about the dark story. The characters can have blood, and that will show people and the studios that this is actually something people want to have,
Yeah.
and it's in a huge demand.
Yeah.
Instead of
I feel like there was something like that, but I can't think of it. Whatever. It is what it is.
Mm.
Oh no! Wait, it was nothing.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. Well, I mean, I think we've talked about these shows. We've kind of spoken about how these shows maybe start an upwards trend in more mature Western comics, just like it is in the anime scene. Is there anything else we want to add to this, or shall we wrap up?
I think we should wrap up because this is what we're supposed to be talking about. And
Exactly.
Finished.
Exactly. We have. It's very rare that we have a podcast that like we talk about. I think this is literally the only time where we have been talking about the same subject. I mean, sure, we've been talking about several different series, but it's still been the same.
It's been relating to the topic all the time.
Yeah, it's the same topic. So that's an improvement. Usually, you know, we have to fill out time with like some other fucking discussion.
We'll probably do that next time, though.
Yeah. All right. So without further ado, the main conclusion here is the Western cartoons, they're starting to get it. You know, they're starting to get more mature. It's fucking great. We're hyped for more. Don't watch He-Man or Masters of the Universe. Don't watch it. Yeah. It's fucking ass. What you should watch is Invincible
and
Bad Batch because those are fucking amazing. Legendary shows. Yeah, hell yeah, they're so fucking. They're literally pioneering the Western cartoon industry. But yeah, watch those shows, and once you're done with that, while you're waiting for season 2 or whatever, just go watch some fucking anime, bro. There's tons of new shit coming out, you know? The Star Wars anime, Attack on Titan season finale, or the final season, I mean, Stone Ocean, fucking Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
Yeah, for me, I also hyped for the new, probably sometime in the future, the third Avatar series.
Even more mature. Is that what you mean?
No, I don't know, but
more mature
like,
version.
yes,
because I feel like the maturity level between the last Avatar and Korra went up a lot. Yeah.
Plus, just as like it will also be a new era because you know, if they keep continuing and go forward or backwards, they will change how the technology works and all that, and how bending changes, all that shit, and that will be super interesting. I just want to watch more of that shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, that was the conclusion. Watch those shows. And thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Hanime Fan Club. I've been your host, Shpimpasta. With me has been
Hodor, of course.
Thank you guys so much for listening today, or tonight, whenever the fuck you're listening. And peace out.